Hopefully 10 more seconds. Stand by.
Yep.
Okay, we should be good.
All right, Jill. Actually, it was Letty that was going to open us up, I think.
Yes, I will. Welcome to the Town Council meeting of the Town of Trophy Club, Texas. Mayor Pro Tem Schaffner,
Here.
Councilmember Sean Bone,
Here.
Councilmember Carl Monger,
Here.
and Councilmember Michael Gerasi.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Schaffner, we do have a quorum.
All right. We will get started. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our houses. I'm actually in my spare bedroom. Carl, where are you at?
I'm in my home office.
Michael,
I get to watch the dogs walk by every day out here on Durango.
Michael, where are you
Also
at?
in the office, at the home
And
office.
Sean. Sean.
I'm in the shed.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. Well, welcome to our houses, everybody. This is certainly a unique
Everything
that we're doing for the first time. When I started my council career, I actually started in the Mud Building. We had meetings in the Mud Building, and then we moved to a fancy new building, and now we're at our houses. So we'll see what how it goes tonight. So before we get started, and I know that Letty already spoke, but I'd like to have the town manager actually introduce Letty. This is her first meeting, so Steve, if you can introduce her.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We are really excited to have Leticia, but she goes by Letty Vasic, who is our new town secretary. She's been here less than a month and probably was not what she was expecting when she started, but she comes from the city of San Antonio, where she was city secretary. So we are very, very fortunate to have her here. She brings a great deal of knowledge and information, experience, and Trophy Club is very fortunate to have her. And I think the council made it a very good hire in hiring Letty to be your next town secretary. So welcome, Letty, and not under the normal circumstances, but glad to have you on board. You will be a key member of this staff.
Thank you very much for that, Steve. I really appreciate it. And I'm very excited to be the new town secretary here with Trophy Club. And I'm excited to be on our first virtual meeting. So I guess that's all I would like to say at this moment.
All right. Well, welcome to the town. This is actually the first meeting that I've ever been to where I'm looking out the window and my neighbor he was walking his dog. So he just walked across. So do we have any public comments at all, Letty?
No, nobody has emailed. I just checked the email. Also, they're supposed to email all of us, but we didn't get anything. So.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure since that was the first thing on the agenda. So I'll just move to item 1, which is order certifying unopposed candidate for the town of Trophy Club. And I don't know if David or Steve, somebody can give us an update on that. Probably David would be more qualified.
Yes, this is just to declare that Greg Wilson is the only candidate in that race. It's something we would have to do whether he's sworn in May or November. The statute just says you do it as soon as practicable after the filing deadline, and this is the first meeting because of everything that's going on.
Okay, so council, what we're looking for here is just a motion to approve the order certifying the unopposed candidate for place 2, I think, right? Correct? Place 2.
Make a motion to approve item number 1, 2020-121-T.
Second.
All right. So we have a motion by Councilmember Bone, a second by Councilmember Monger. I don't know how we're going to do this. We can probably all see each other's hands. So all for approval of that motion, raise your hand. All opposed, it carries unanimously. Letty, I guess you got that.
Yes, sir, I did.
We'll go to item number 2, consider and take appropriate action regarding a resolution to move the May general and special charter amendment elections to November 3rd, 2020. And Steve, you want to talk about this?
Well, I'll let Letty
Okay.
talk about this, but this is something that has come down from the governor, has come down from various county judges, and this is something that, you know, and we're not seeing anything change as far as lifting, you know, shelter in place. We're seeing things go out to end of April, May, even June. So Letty has been in close contact with state elections officials, and this is something that I think she's very comfortable in doing, and that's kind of what is expected. So.
Sure, and thank you, Steve. Yes, so most of the cities in the state of Texas are now moving their elections to November, and that is an option that has been granted by the governor to each political subdivision. It is required that the council take action in order to do so.
And go ahead.
This would also include the special election or our charter election. So everything is moved to November, not just the council races.
And I know that, you know, I put out a Facebook post. We certainly have the option to forego this and do it on our own, but it not only would be a huge cost, but we're not even prepared to do the testing and all of the things that we have just relied so heavily upon Denton County and Tarrant County to do for us. Not only that, but we'd have to staff the polling stations. We'd have to have Tarrant County, we'd have to have Denton County. So early on in this process, like you say, the governor put out that proclamation, and then Denton and Tarrant didn't really say a whole lot. And then all of a sudden they not only put, we urge you, but they capitalize urge you to move that. And so, so anyway, that's kind of what on the back end or behind the scenes, what we've been getting and being told. So, and I think most every city, I know that Northwest ISD is moving their elections. Most of the other cities in our area and in North Texas, and probably all across the state, are doing the same thing. So I'll entertain a motion unless there's any other discussion on this.
Hey, Philip, I'd like to just explain a little bit more what you're talking about here. And Letty, please keep me honest. Just to be sure that everybody that's watching online understands, I guess we have a normal rate to do these elections that's covered by the counties that was there beforehand. And as things have evolved the way they have with the virus, Philip, what you and Letty are basically explaining to everybody is that those additional requirements are going to be additional financial costs to the town, and both not just for Denton County, but also for Tarrant County. And that's all on us. And we would have no assistance from either one of the counties, so that we would be bearing those full costs. Is that correct?
That is correct, council member. So as you have seen from the email that was sent to us by Tarrant County, we would be responsible for the entire cost. And that starts with programming the machines to having, hiring the judges and clerks and training them, et cetera. So definitely the cost would be much greater to the town of Trophy Club.
Gotcha. And that was all coming about even before we had the virus. And now we also have the additional layer that came out, if I'm not mistaken, late last week, that Philip, you also kind of alluded to, that was additional requirements that would be on us to ensure that the polling locations are safe, and we would try to minimize the spread of the virus. Is that also correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure. I think the emails that have gone around with staff and us, I think we understand that, but I just want to be sure that our constituents understand the situation that we're in right now, because just don't want to take moving an election lightly. That's all.
Correct.
And not
And
only,
one more thing I wanted to add, that's a great point, council member, but as you know, we do have some opposed races, and that being the case, all the deadlines that are currently in place for the filing of their campaign finance reports that are required by the Texas Ethics Commission will still be required, but in the November timeframe. As you know, there's one report coming due 30 days before the election. That also has been moved to the November timeframe, and we will put that information out on our website.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And I
appreciate it.
I think one other thing that you can add to that is, if we tried to hold the election in May, you probably would disenfranchise quite a few voters that would be scared to come to the polls. They wouldn't come because of fear or whatever. And so, I've always griped about Tarrant County, where you have to go way into South Lake or something, that it disenfranchises Trophy Club voters. And so something like this certainly would disenfranchise people from, wanting to come out and vote. So anyway, I think
that's a good point.
Yeah. All right.
Make a motion
other
to
discussion?
approve. Oh, so go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Make a motion to approve item number 2, 2020-119-T regarding the postponement of election to November 3rd.
I'll second.
All right. We have a motion by Sean, a second by Carl. All those in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, it carries unanimously. All right, we'll move on to number 3, consider and take appropriate action regarding the purchase of a new LifePak 15 monitor defibrillator from Stryker for the fire department, not to exceed the amount of $30,036.11. We make sure we get that 11 cents. And I don't know if Chief Taylor is still on, but I think Sean missed your earlier, explanation of this that Michael asked before we got on. Can you explain that again to us, if you're on?
Absolutely. This is Chief Taylor.
You can't see him, but you can hear him.
I'm hitting. This is the voice of Chief Taylor. The LifePak 15 monitor defibrillator. It's a replacement monitor for the 2013 model that we have for the Trophy Club Fire Department. The attached sales quote that went along with this, it outlines the cost of the monitor defibrillator and the 2 extra batteries for a price of $31,762.51. In addition to that was another $4,773.60 for ongoing on-site preventative maintenance for the next 7 years. With that total, we were given a trade-in of $6,500 that we will be given for that 2013 model. That makes the total sale price adjusted to $30,036.11.
And let me just explain, thank you for that explanation. Let me just explain this. So anything under our rules, council rules, this is actually already budgeted from last year. So this particular piece of equipment for the fire department is already budgeted, but anything that exceeds, and I think it's 25,000, is that right, Steve?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, anything that exceeds 25,000 is required to come back to the council for approval. So this falls into that category. So that's why we wanted to get this on, because the fire department is ready to purchase this, and certainly a much needed piece of equipment. Like I said earlier this week, a piece of equipment you hope you never need, but you're glad that they have it if you do need it. So any discussion? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve 2020-102-T.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Michael, a second from Sean. All those in favor? All right, it is unanimous. We'll go on to item number 4. Item number 4, consider and take appropriate action regarding the acceptance of the audit for the town of Trophy Club fiscal year 2019. in your packet was a audit PowerPoint presentation, and actually the final audit. Mayor Sanders and I actually met with Steve and Wade and our financial, actually the auditor. What was the auditor's name?
Louis Breedlove.
Louis Breedlove. Yeah, I should have remembered that. We met with him about 2 weeks ago on a Tuesday morning, and they presented the audit. Everything was really good, came back great. I was sort of anxious because of the change in financial staff, but the auditor said everything was great. Steve, do you want to talk about any of this, or Wade?
No, you're absolutely correct. Everything is very strong. The city has a very strong bond rating. The city has a strong fund balance at about 47%, which is very, very strong. And right now, with the economic climate we're in, that's even better. So we've got good financial policies in place. There were really no material weaknesses that were significant that caused us any concern. So you've got a good, clean audit, and we're very proud of it.
All right, any discussion? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Hey, I'll do it this time. I'm happy to move that we adopt 2020-094-Tango, the acceptance of the audit for the town of Trophy Club.
Second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Carl, a second by Sean, and followed by a third by Michael. So all those in favor? All right, it passes unanimously. And then we'll go to number 5, the last thing on our agenda, a declaration of local emergency for the town of Trophy Club to follow Denton County's plan related to COVID-19. David or anybody?
Wade, why don't you handle that?
Sure.
Ah,
I think we just lost him.
yeah, he doesn't have our great Trophy Club internet, so he's out of town.
David?
When Wade was fire chief, what he did is transferred us, got us in an interlocal agreement with the county of Denton for emergency situations like this. So we're enacting that emergency status. Also, council can do it for a certain time. The mayor or mayor pro tem can only do it for 7 days. Just continuing what's already been done. The reason for doing it now is to ensure we're in line or eligible for any federal funding that becomes available.
Okay. Any comments, any discussion?
It does
Wade,
not
you're
add
back
or
among us.
subtract anything from the current county and state, correct?
Wade, you back on?
I hope so.
Okay. Did you hear the
So
question?
no, it does not retract from anything that the county sets out or the state. Our declaration, we kept it very broad in the way we wrote this declaration, allowing us to follow and flow with any changes that might come down from Denton County, who we have.
Well, he went out again, it sounds like.
Yep.
As I
Yeah.
said,
I just want to make it clear, we weren't adding any restrictions or anything onto it. It's
No.
Make a motion to approve item 9, 2020-115-T.
second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Bone, a second by Councilmember Munger. All those in favor? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody jumping on. It's kind of nice. You could sort of get used to having council meetings like this, but
Yeah, I'm okay with this, especially if I need a snack.
yeah. But
Is it, can I say something real quick?
yeah, go ahead, Carl.
Well, I just want to say I've noticed that the COVID positive cases in the town haven't changed over the last few days. And I hope and pray that it stays that way. But I just want to give a thanks to everybody in the community, because if they weren't social distancing, if they were violating those guidelines, we'd have more cases. So I want to give a big shout out to the town. I think everybody's really doing a nice job.
All right. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Hey, Carl, that's a good spot too to talk about, just real quick. And that's, the initial, just so everybody knows that's listening, we've talked about it and we've had some correspondence, but the people that are initially coming in being sick were people that were bringing it in from traveling outside. And my understanding is the people that got addition to people that kind of brought in the virus were kind of cohabitation type things. So to Carl's point, being responsible and practicing the social distancing has worked here in the town of Trophy Club. So that's proof right there that how that works, and we really appreciate it. Did I say anything correct there or incorrect?
No.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right.
I'll second it.
And just let me, before I close it out, just let me say, continue to pray for or keep our mayor and his wife in your thoughts and prayers. I did text him a day or so ago, and I said, Nick, by all indications, I'm not doing a very good job of running your town, so I need you to get well as quickly as possible. And so he texted me back and said, no, you're doing a good job. I said, so, but we still need you. So, so get well soon. So please do keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And I think they would appreciate it. I will just go ahead and adjourn. It is 7 p.m. on the dot. Thanks again for joining us. Talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Nice to see you